Today I want to talk about basically chasing your dream. People, we all have things that we dream about. Even INFJs, we always have big dreams actually. In fact, we're quite the dreamer types. We're always imagining. In fact, we can dream up quite a bit of things. In fact, we think way into the future. So we're pretty good at dreaming. But initiating these dreams into reality, this is where our drawbacks happen. Now people, there's a lot of self-help out there for INFJs. We're always talking about our feelings and about our insides and how we work and our depressions and our anxieties. And yes, we gotta get a handle of those. And I think I've covered that topic a few times. And that seems to be the fundamental issue with a lot of INFJs. But I want to talk about chasing your dreams. You have a goal you want to make, you want to work at. I want to talk about that today. All right? So my first thing I have on my plan is plan with intentions. Okay? In other words, that's exactly it. Let your planning be your best weapon. We are long-term thinkers, people. You are intuitive, and your biggest gift you have is your long-term planning. So if you're planning something, be meticulous about it. Write things down. And whatever it is. Now, when I started this YouTube channel, I'm kind of basing it on this venture that I'm on right here. This YouTube channel right now is me chasing a dream. Now, I'd have to say that part of me always was fascinated with films, and I always thought it would be cool being in the kind of the show business as a kid. Now, like anybody might have. But of course, I never really thought it was possible. Now, YouTube has made it common for anybody. Basically, anybody can do this. It's free just to get on here, try to build up an audience, try to build up a following in this case. So it was a plan of mine. So planning with intention, having some belief behind you, and having some kind of motivation in you is what you really need to do. Basically, that's it. So believe in yourself also. Yeah, I mean, I know these are kind of the stereotypical. Everybody says, okay, if you're going to chase a dream, you got to believe in yourself, you got to plan with intention. These are kind of stereotypical. Anybody could tell you that. These are just typical. But bottom line is, people, I mean, it's just the fact that INFJs are one particular personality type that tends to put things off. They don't quite believe in themselves. A lot of times they get sidestepped with their insecurities, with they're not good enough, or their perfectionism and things like that start catching up. So yeah, these things are drawbacks. So we have to understand that sometimes we put these back in the back burner. There's a lot of potential INFJs can have. There's immense possibilities and potential in your mind and who you are. Very intelligent people, very gifted people, very imaginative, very creative in so many ways. And I'm sure many of you INFJs have already put this to use. And many of you have already put these things to use in your life. And I commend you for that. But a lot of you people are still on the fence about this. A lot of people, you're apprehensive about your plans. And you're hemming and hawing about things. And you're wondering, should I do it? What'll happen if I fail? You're going to get all these negative thoughts out of there. So you're going to have a lot of negative thoughts are going to circulate through your mind if you just let these things fester, if you overthink these things. I mean, now, be almost self-sabotage at times in our life. It just seems that's what the INFJ is. They're self-saboteurs in a lot of ways, in so many things. And especially if they're chasing a dream and they're trying to think about the next step, they may sabotage themselves again. Number 3 I got down here. Stay quiet. Toxic negativity and feedback. Okay, all right, that's what I got written down. Now, stay quiet. I mean, you don't need to tell everybody, hey, I'm going to do this. Hey, I'm going to do that. All right, I want to do this. Now, what does that do? What is human nature? A lot of time, human nature is going to put the negative in there. They could be your best friend. Somebody's going to put a little bug in your ear. Unless you're strong enough to say, okay, filter this out, you don't believe any of it, then fine. But expect that when you do tell somebody, they're going to come up with negative feedback. Oh, you know you can't do that. Oh, that's too difficult for you. You don't have enough money. You don't have enough this. You're going to get the negative feedback from your friends. I don't care who it is, your parents, especially the people that are closest to you. I've noticed, especially the direct family. I mean, I don't have a lot of direct family left anymore, but at the time when I talk to things about my brothers and things like that and try to come up with plans, and that's exactly what I'm basing this on, is the fact that, yeah, they always threw doubt in your mind. When you threw an idea out there, they constantly threw doubts in there. And some of your best friends did the same thing. It's like, yeah, none of them really were there to support you, just to kind of tell you you couldn't do it. So you might just stay quiet about it. Just believe in yourself and do things on your own. All right? Initiate your plan. So you planned it. You believe in yourself. You stayed quiet. You're thinking about it. Maybe you got your resources. Maybe you saved your money. That was part of your plan. You had the plan. You had to save your money. You had to get your resources. You had to get all your ducks in a row in order to initiate your plan. And then just do it. Just do what it is. Whatever venture that is. Like I said, this one was my YouTube venture. This is part of my plan right here in action. The fact I'm talking to you right here on this camera right now, it's part of the plan I had initiated. I'm just following through with this. And I do thank everybody for their support. But anyway, so initiate that plan. Just get it done. Just go for it. And of course, stay dedicated. Stay dedicated to it. Yeah, believe in what you do. Don't give up. Basically, that's a lot of times. I'm basing this a lot of, like I said, basing it on this venture I'm on here now, people, is not to give up. There's a lot of times you get little plateaus in this channel, I've noticed. I mean, sometimes you see things going up, they go down a little bit, they steady down, and then all of a sudden they're thinking, hey, where's the support? I mean, we was doing great for a month here. I mean, people were here, there were subscribers, this and that. People were viewing me. All of a sudden, it fell way back. Well, partly was because I got busy. I didn't put out a few shorts out there, but other than that, I mean, it was just a matter of just, maybe that was my own doing, is that I kind of laid back a little bit, didn't put a couple videos out, and I noticed that's when the things started drying up a little bit. So, anyway, gotta stay dedicated, don't give up on what you're doing, and hopefully that's going to fulfill you in a lot of ways. And so whatever it is, yeah, just initiate your goal and chase your dream. Now I'm going to talk about the drawbacks. I kind of did during the first part of this. I talked a little bit about these drawbacks, but now some of the drawbacks. Now, if you have a plan with intention, you have to remember perfectionism is a roadblock. Okay, perfectionism seems to be almost our Achilles heel. As an INFJ, you might think to yourself, well, what's wrong with perfectionism? You like everything just right. You want everything perfect. But the drawback is it's over-perfection. Sometimes this perfection is to a fault. The INFJ perfectionism can be almost crippling in a way. You're basically going to have your drawbacks. You're going to just start thinking about it. You're going to say, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. And a lot of times we throw the whole plan out the window because we can't just get one thing done. We can't get past that perfectionism. And that thing turns into a roadblock because now we just we want everything just right, and if we can't get it just right, then we forget the whole thing. And that's one of the things that will happen. So I guess bottom line is it's a lot of times is when you're chasing a dream, especially when you know your personality has these drawbacks, you have to use these drawbacks and make them your strengths in some way. I know it's kind of tough for me to talk. There's been many times in my life, I got to tell you people, I didn't follow any of this advice. I've been a young man, and I've made mistakes through my life. And there were times I wanted to start small businesses and things like that, and go on my own, have my own truck, do my own tire work, things like that. I'd say I just defeated myself. I always thought it was too big of a dream. You know, too many, like the truck would cost too much and the equipment would cost too much. Meanwhile, I have this job over here. I'm working for a company. Just stay where you're at. You know what I mean? And then you think of all the costs. And so I overthought it and things never happen. Was that my fault? Absolutely. So I'm sitting here now saying I made mistakes in the past. I know that's why I'm talking this way. I'm saying that chasing your dreams is important for an INFJ because of what I just said, because there were times in my life I put things off. Hopefully some of you younger ones out there trying to tell you that, just be careful of that, all right? Always believe in yourself and just pursue what you want to do, all right? So self-esteem equals doubt. And that's another thing. A lot of times, yeah, we just not think we're good enough. We may think we're just not capable. Yeah, everybody else is good, but not me. A lot of times we put doubts in our own head. A lot of times we may get negative feedback from people, but our own criticism, our own critics inside our own mind are some of the most harshest critics. And a lot of times our mind will churn and we'll start thinking of that. So a lot of it is you have to be almost mentally tough and not fall into these distractions. So you're not feeling the doubt. You're not that self-esteem of just constantly cutting yourself down. Yeah, somehow, you just have to get past that. That's why I say it's very important to first find your own mind first. Even with learning your own empathy, in those videos, I talked about how you needed to make sure your mind was clear, make sure your focus, make sure these negative toxic emotions that you were carrying with you in your life, making sure that you've put those past. Maybe you've worked out a certain regimen in your life. Maybe you had meditation and you had ways of separating your thoughts. Maybe you had certain things where you found yourself. And a lot of times, this is what our drawbacks are, is our own mind. When our own mind is cluttered and chaotic and we're not really separating our thoughts, we're not meditating, we're not sitting still, and all these things just catch back up to us. It affects our self-esteem. It just affects us inside as people. And so then we start doubting ourselves. And when we start doubting, we start putting things off. We procrastinate. And then we don't let things happen. So I guess, people, this is just a pep talk. Just don't let that happen in your life, all right? Always chase your dream and follow suit with it. And hesitation equals no option. Okay, when you hesitate, yeah, it means basically you put something off. You hesitate, and you're thinking, I'm going to do it. I'll do it next week. Maybe I'll do this next week or next month. Maybe next year I'll do this. When you're putting things off and you're hesitating, you're putting things off forever. These are cop-outs for you. When you start believing these hesitation, there might be some instances where you're forced to. Maybe you got injured. Maybe something happened. Maybe something financial took over in your life that you had to address. There are certain times that you have to hesitate or you have to put off certain plans. That's inevitable. Maybe your children, if you have children, maybe they need a tuition or something like that. Things do happen that make us have to put things off. But other than that, there's really no excuse. If there's none of that, don't just let your own hesitation be the fact that you just don't feel like it. Or maybe next week I'll get the motivation. Because these things will always they'll never come through. And again, these are things that I've learned through my own life. People, I'm not preaching at this saying I did all this. A lot of this is because I made some of these mistakes and I don't want anybody to make these mistakes. So that's all I come from experience as well. Okay? So in giving up equals failure. Okay, I wrote that down too. So these are the drawbacks. I was telling you, be the positives over here. I told you those in the beginning. But the drawbacks are if you listen to your negative thoughts, you listen to input from people that are just toxic, things that are, if you start listening to things, everything's going to build up. And if you just plain give up, that's a failure. Then you're giving up on your dream. And you don't want to do that. If you can, just hold on to what you have that you want to pursue in your life. Yeah, and hold on to that. Make it right. Now, personally, from my standpoint right now, people, I'm not a millionaire. I'm an average guy. I'm very blue collar, very average guy. I've worked my whole life. I bought this home a couple of years ago. It's a nice home. It's a small trailer home. It's just perfect and modest for me. And so it's just what I need. So, I think part of that was I had enough to finally have the dream of buying a small home. And I got a decent yard out back. I think of that as an accomplishment, just buying my home and just having that. And I had it all planned out. I had it all factored in. If I took so many years to pay for it, I'd have this thing paid off by retirement. And then, by that time, I could be retired and then I won't be paying the mortgage anymore. And yeah, pretty much that's it. So I had that part planned out. So I'm partly chasing my dream in that way. A lot of times owning a home is a dream. But our dreams get bigger than that too. We need something that's going to fulfill these dreams, that something's going to pay for these homes and pay our mortgages. And that's where we need to stay on task, is just make sure whatever it is you're dreaming about, whatever it is you want to do, chase it. Chase it. And just believe in yourself. Stay quiet, because you don't want toxic feedback. Initiate the plan and stay dedicated to your goal. All right? I'm sure there's a lot of other things. Gee, today, I feel like a motivational speaker right here today, people. So, I just wanted to do that. I wanted to come up with something positive. I wanted to have some kind of reinforcement here, just offer some kind of enlightenment in that way. Just some positive thinking. That's all, people. Well, anyway, so people, I hope you like that segment. And I'm trying to jazz things up a little bit. I'm trying to make sure that some of my topics are on different things. Some things are on self-help. Some are on psychology, spirituality, and chase your dream. I guess I threw that in there because people, sometimes we just need positive reinforcement. You need somebody out there just to be on your side and tell you, yeah, keep going. Just do it. Believe in yourself. All right? That's all. So people, I hope you like that. Hey, please subscribe to my channel. Give me some thumbs up. Give me some comments in the comment box, and I'll make sure I align another video that's close to this one. Until the next time, people, have yourself a wonderful rest of your day.